Okay.
Welcome to Grumpy Home Chef. I'm Mammy, one of two wives with kids. Grumpy's better half. And I'm actually taking over the kitchen today to teach Grumpy how to make rhubarb and apple jam. I'm looking at that, and there's the camera, isn't it?
And you've got to say you're not the Grumpy Home
Okay.
Chef.
Using rhubarb from our garden, just some apples and some jam setup, which is a thing of pectin, and sugar. That's it. So the recipe calls for 3 cups of apples to 3 cups of rhubarb. We don't have that much rhubarb because we just grew it in our little pallet garden out the back. We will see how we go.
Check it out on Two Wives with Kids.
That's right. He's on Two Wives with Kids. Depending on how much rhubarb we get, depends on how much apple we need. And given that some of these apples are not very nice, we'll just go with it and have a little bit more apple than you have rhubarb, depending on whether you like it tart or sweet. And I know that it's not a classic thing to do to actually use jam setter or to use a packet of pectin, but it's fast, it's easy, and that's what I'm all about. I don't get in the kitchen much, so when I do, it needs to be really simple.
And not too messy.
Not too messy or Grumpy goes mad at me. I'm a messy cook, Grumpy's a clean cook. You can use any apples you like with this. You can also substitute the apples for strawberries or substitute the rhubarb for strawberries, and it's still just as nice. It's a really basic recipe for making jam.
I don't know if I've got 1.5 or 2 cups in there now.
Oh, now you have to measure it for me because otherwise it's no good.
It's either 1.5 or 2. What's it matter?
It does matter because
You normally don't care. You normally just shove it in.
Stop telling everybody my cooking secrets. That's when I make cakes, but it matters when you make jam because it's actually science behind this thing.
Well, they say science in baking.
Yeah, there is too, except that I can play with science in baking. It's been a long time since I've made jam, so I'm following the recipe properly.
Oh, it's 2.
2 cups?
2 cups.
Right.
Couple of slow poke.
You can give me a break. I had to pee, or you didn't.
You can see that she doesn't cook very much.
No, I don't.
Okay, so there's the jars boiling so that they're sterilised.
So the first thing that goes in, here, you can put it in. First thing that goes in is we've got 4 cups of fruit here. 2 cups of rhubarb, 2 cups of apple. To the 4 cups of fruit, you need to add 1 1/3 cup of sugar. You also add a little bit of cinnamon. I can't say it.
Cinnamon. Sorry.
Okay, you also add just a little bit of
Cinnamon.
There you go.
There it is. Is that enough?
Yep. And a little under 1/4 cup of water for this much fruit and sugar. Put it in, stir it around with a wooden spoon, turn the stove on, and you bring it to the boil. Once you've brought it to the boil, you cook it over a medium heat for about 20 minutes or until the fruit's really soft. So it takes a while to do this.
So we'll see you in about 20 minutes. So in goes the pectin.
And we're not using the entire packet because we didn't use as much fruit as would normally be in the recipe for the whole packet. Also, our jam was setting pretty good on its own actually.
And now what do?
We now boil it for 5 minutes. Okay, so we've got our sterilised jars, we've got our jam mix and a ladle, and now we get to have fun and ladle it into the jars.
Are they hot?
No.
It might make a mess.
Yeah, that's why you do it over the thing.
Don't like mess.
It's very much like marmalade because the
Pectin.
no, the fruit hasn't totally dissolved. So you're having very fruity jam here, much more of a marmalade, you know.
It's a chunky jam.
It is a very chunky jam, and I like chunky jams.
So here they go. Bit of action cam.
So you just have to boil these jars for around 10 minutes to seal them up. You can keep them in a cool, dry place, somewhere in the dark, like in your pantry, for a number of months. Ours didn't even make it to the pantry. It went straight into the fridge after it had cooled down because we had it that night on some thick cut fresh bread and then the next morning on some croissants.
Thanks for watching Grumpy Home Chef. Don't forget the recipe for this will be in the description below, or you can find it at grumpyhomechef.com. And check out my social media. And thanks again to Racquel, who apparently is my better half, for teaching me how to make jam. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.